looking to the north toward this. So I don't have great eyes on it from that distance, but if it does touch down, I just may be able to catch it from that camera. So I'll be watching that one, as it's not that far away, but in a situation where it's this high of humidity, it is a little harder to catch them on the camera views. So there we go. This is what I mentioned earlier. If I saw something that did produce a new tornado warning, I thought it might be the thing skirting across the northern part of Riley County. And there it is, northern part of Pottawatomie County. Again, this is moving to the northeast of Oldsburg at this point. Wheaton is in the path, and you should be taking shelter in those areas. Just north of Highway 16, approaching Highway 99. And if you're in areas like Marysville, you don't have to worry about this. But the weather radios would have gone off across the entire county. Or if you have a weather app of some sort that just tells you what counties are in a tornado warning, then certainly it would be alerting you for every part of Marshall County. It would be getting those screeching tones. But you don't have to worry if you're Frankfort, Marysville, Beatty, Axtell, those areas. You are not in the path of this tornado or tornado warning. Again, it's Doppler radar indicated, and it is for that area. I have painted on there with the white polygon, and going until 7:45 p.m. So now we're going to look at the camera again, and this is going to be looking to the north from Manhattan, from the Stormont Vale campus there in Manhattan. So we're looking at the lowering of that storm. And again, it's so humid, there's so much rain in this, it's difficult to pick it out if there's something in there, but I do have at least a set of eyes pointing that direction now. Again, the severe storm watch goes until 1 o'clock in the morning for a big part of northeast Kansas. The only area in a tornado warning at this point right now is this area right there that includes Oldsburg, almost to Wheaton. Westmoreland is not included in this tornado warning, so you don't have to worry about it at this point. It should stay north of Westmoreland. And I'm checking at other cameras to see if anything else has a view up there. I just don't think I'm going to be able to catch something up there from the distance I have. All right, so back to the velocity mode. That's your tornado warning. This stuff right here that's got the spin to it, that's where it could potentially produce a tornado. So again, this tornado warning until 7:45 p.m. It is Doppler radar indicated. No confirmation of this touching down. And hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 are mentioned with this potential tornado warning. All right, so that's how it looks from the radar. Again, we have the severe storm watch that goes until 1 o'clock in the morning for most of northeast Kansas. This is the watch area right there. And while areas like Coffee County are not officially in the severe storm watch, you certainly could have severe storms later in the evening, or even have the watch expanded to include areas like Coffee County later in the night. Sometimes we have these expanded, and the text in these watches will even mention that severe storms are possible in and around the watch area. Hang on for just a moment here. Give him a message. Take that for me, please. All right, so we have the tornado warning in place right now for the northern part of Pottawatomie County going until 7:45 p.m. It's a Doppler radar indicated tornado. It is not confirmed on the ground by any means, but certainly could touch down at any point. We had the warnings earlier in parts of Washington and Marshall counties. Those fortunately did not touch down. Hopefully this one will be the same situation. But just northeast of Oldsburg, they have the rotation right there, that's stronger than it was. Right about here, looks like the strongest sign of rotation that I see on the radar. So that's approaching Highway 99. It looks like the rotation is past Oldsburg at this point, and if it was to produce a tornado, it's going to be in that area. Let's check out the debris mode and see if anything shows up. Nothing at this point there that I see that's obvious. Back to velocity. The velocity is picking it up much better than anything else at this point. Is that area right there where these red returns indicate the radar is going, reflectivity is going away from the radar, and the green indicates the returns are going toward the radar. The radars are located near Alma, so that's your spin right there northeast of the town of Oldsburg. So looping this, you can see that spin redeveloping in this last few minutes and making its way to the east. They say 30 miles per hour is the speed on this. All right, again, Doppler radar indicated tornado. in progress there. Northeast of Oldsburg is going to be the location on this. Go back to the camera again and see if I get a look at this thing. Probably not going to be able to see it. All right, got a report from Kwich of a rotating wall cloud northeast of Oldsburg. So we have a rotating wall cloud a few miles northeast of Oldsburg is a report we have right now. And I can't see it from this camera, but that's the first report we've had of a wall cloud or funnel cloud or anything, is a rapidly rotating wall cloud a few miles northeast of Oldsburg. So we have a wall cloud now reported with this that's northeast of Oldsburg. That's the closest thing to a tornado we've had reported today. Does not mean it's on the ground, doesn't mean it'll make it to the ground, but the rotation there is showing up a lot better than it was. That's it right there, rotating around that location. The location of that being about 7, maybe 8 miles northeast of the town of Oldsburg is where that rotation is showing up. So again, that's the tornado warning going until 7:45 p.m. Just about to get over Highway 99 in the next few minutes. If you're in the town of Wheaton, you should be ready to take shelter. Westmoreland will probably stay north of you. And the update on this in the Weather Service, they're mentioning an update on this now. They say producing a tornado, capable of producing a tornado 4 miles northwest of Blaine, moving east at 30 miles per hour, and flying debris, and all of that is a possibility. So take shelter. So for Oldsburg, you are now out of the tornado warning. There's the new polygon that actually picks up just east of Oldsburg. Westmoreland's still not in this. It includes a small sliver of the southern part of Marshall County, but the bulk of it is in the northwest part of Pottawatomie County. And the motion on this, they say, is moving to the east at roughly 30 miles per hour. So 4 miles northwest of Blaine is where they're putting this as the location. And that rotation to me looks like it's going to be right about there is the location on this. So again, it's another Doppler radar indicated tornado, but this in this particular situation, we did have a storm chaser actually from Kwich that says they see a rapidly rotating wall cloud. We didn't have anything like that earlier with the reports with the storms that were ongoing, but now we're getting reports of a wall cloud that's rotating with this. So that's the closest thing to a tornado that we've had so far. Everything else has been just Doppler radar indicated, but now we're getting reports of a storm chaser from Kwich, our sister station out of Wichita. The Ross Jansen and his team down there, they have a storm chaser that's up there on this that says they see this rapid rotating wall cloud that's northeast of Oldsburg. So potentially seeing that it could produce tornado. So if you're northeast of Oldsburg, that's the rotation is located at this point. Move my microphone. Apologize for the crackling sounds there. All right. So again, my camera that I have with this is closer to Manhattan, so I can't see quite to that spot. I've been trying to aim it around and mess the color settings, see if I can see anything with it, but I just don't. But that's the spot right there. It's going to be just northeast of Oldsburg, about 8 miles of the location. This is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. So if you're in Marshall County, again, you're going to have your weather radios going off and probably apps on your phone screeching and that kind of thing. But the warning that includes Marshall County is just a very southern sliver of the county. It's not very many folks in Marshall County at all. So while your weather radio is likely screeching and weather apps are going off all the way to Frankfort, Blue Rapids, and Marysville, if you're in those areas farther north, you're not in this tornado warning. It's just the very southern sliver there of Marshall County. The rotation showing up on this just to the northeast of Oldsburg, that's northwest of Blaine, about 4 miles. And the velocity on this, it's going to take it awfully close to Wheaton if it continues, but the rotation on that right here now. Again, that goes until 7:45, and the rotation on that is significant at this point. It kind of died down for a while. We had the rotations coming out of parts of Washington County, and then it meandered to southern Washington County and southwest Marshall. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're watching that storm in the northern part of Riley County that had the highest chance of producing more tornado warnings if it did, and certainly it did. And now it's getting in the northern part of Pottawatomie County. So zooming out and looking at the entire area, this is not a big part of northeast Kansas in warnings, and the tornado warning is a very small portion of the area. So Topeka, Emporia, Council Grove is just hot and humid right now. Now, if you look to the west, though, you'll see what's coming our way for later this evening as storms are filling in across Clay County, northern Dickinson, back into Ottawa, back into central Kansas. This is the cold front that will ultimately start sweeping through eastern Kansas through the evening and is likely to produce a lot of warnings, probably a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and most of these will mention strong winds, could be 70 miles per hour, worse even in a few spots, but the tornado potential for this, as it close to sunset, the tornado potential for this should really die down substantially. Let's go to the next image here. There's the severe storm watch. Again, this goes until 1 o'clock in the morning for really all of northeast Kansas. Coffee County is not officially in the severe storm watch, but I would tell you that the watch text will say that the threat for severe weather is in and around the watch. So please don't think that just because you're not in the severe storm watch, you don't have a severe storm threat. And that many times you have the watches with counties added on later, and sometimes even extend the time for these. So right now it goes to 1 o'clock in the morning. That's where the severe storm watch does. So there's the tornado warning. Again, this is in Pottawatomie County, and the southern parts of Marshall County are in the tornado warning at this point. It goes until 7:45 p.m. is the expiration time for this. The rotation on that, right about here, is the strongest rotation. There's actually a second rotation farthest to the south at this point, and either one of those could be a problem. Let's check and see if we have an update from the Weather Service on this at this point, and I don't see, not since 7:23, just a few minutes ago. All right, I want to check out the camera from Manhattan again and see what's going on there, and check out the temperature reports again here and see where the greatest instability is going to be on these. All right, so we've got 90 in Topeka, 93 in Concordia at this point. The heat index values are still extremely high. We've got the winds shifting around to the west there, just west of Marysville. So Concordia, Clay Center, you'd have no risk of tornadoes in that area at all right now with surface winds coming in from the west. Anywhere with the south or southeast wind, the tornado risk would continue. But if you're looking at a west wind, your tornado risk is virtually zero. That's looking to the northeast from Manhattan. That could be part of the lowering from the storm. If it is producing tornado, I would not see it at this point from that angle. I don't see it if it's there. There's the radar and the rotation on this. The tornado warning is right to the northern part of Pottawatomie County and the southern sliver of Marshall County at this point. And the Weather Service expiring a severe storm warning to Marshall and Pottawatomie County. That's the northern part, but they are continuing this tornado warning, at least at this point, for the southern part of this. And the rotation on that certainly is significant at this point. There's two different areas there of concern. One this and the other that right there. Either one of those could potentially produce a tornado. So this is a situation where folks do need to be taking shelter if you're there. It is going to be the northern part of Pottawatomie County, the south and southern part of Marshall County. And there's not a lot of homes in that area, but if you're there, please make sure you're taking shelter. We'll zoom more closely here and check out some of the specific roads that are close by. There's Cricket Road and Flint Hill Drive, Flint Hill Road, closer to the rotation here. That's going to be the rotating area. Galilee Road and Spring Creek Road. That's the areas that are closest to a potential tornado, at least one. The other area of rotation, this is an area right here that's concerning. So right along Highway 13. Just to the west of Highway 99 a few miles. That's where you should be taking shelter for sure, but the rotation at this point is well to the northeast of Oldsburg, and folks around Wheaton should be concerned about this. Westmoreland, it still looks like this is staying well north of Westmoreland, so I don't see it as being a problem for folks that are in the Westmoreland area, thankfully. And I'm looking at other cameras here, seeing if I can get any sort of looks at this, because I mentioned the folks from Kwich, so they saw a rapidly rotating wall cloud up there. And I can see at least a rain-free base. Oh, we have a confirmed tornado now. All right, confirmed tornado. There we go. Confirmed tornado just with this. And the Weather Service now saying with this, tornado about 5 minutes before roping out. So it was confirmed at 7:25, 7 minutes ago, apparently it touched down. So it did touch down a few minutes ago. I'm not sure if it's touching down now at this moment or not, but it did touch down a few minutes ago, according to the National Weather Service. So we had it as a rotating wall cloud, and they're saying that it did in fact touch down a few minutes ago, and the location on that is going to be 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg is what they were saying, and they're going to update this to observed. So as I mentioned a moment ago, you're watching the earlier tornado coverage here, you'll see the word observed showing up over here on this. So if the tornado warning does become something that's observed, if they upgrade the intensity of this, then you'll see that show up on the map. So if I'm saying it over and over again, you can, if I'm not saying it, you can see over there if it's confirmed. Also, the map goes from white to having this orange in here as well. If we ever have a tornado emergency, I have it go to black. Just that's, you're not going to see that very often, but it's one of the settings I have on here just so we can tell what the tornado warnings are, and they're different. So this one is considered to be a confirmed tornado at this point, touching down at least a few minutes ago. They did say that it roped out. So at 7:25 p.m., the National Weather Service said this touched down right about here, 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg, and then it roped out. So considering as a confirmed tornado at this point, it at least did touch down a few minutes ago, according to a storm spotter. And I'm not sure if it's on the ground right now or not, but the National Weather Service saying that this could be producing a tornado at this moment. And the rotation on there, you can see the most intense rotation there for a few moments, right there northeast of Oldsburg, about 7 miles, the location on that. And from what I see, it looks like it may be losing its intensity there. So the storm spotter said that it did rope out. So we'll see if they continue calling this a confirmed observed tornado warning at this point or not. But there's still rotation on this, getting close to Highway 99, right along Highway 13 at this point. So back on the reflectivity here, there is the confirmed tornado warning that goes almost to Wheaton, just north of Westmoreland, is in this this area with a confirmed tornado warning at this point. And again, it's a rural area. It's not a huge population in the area where this thing would have touched down, thankfully. But if you're in that area, please take shelter, right now, please. And I am zooming in from a long, long distance from some of the cameras here, just trying to get a peek at anything. And I think that the best view I have is still this one from Manhattan, which is quite a distance from the actual rotation on this. But I can see the lowering on that. I certainly can't see anything that would be touching down at this point from that camera. So again, the National Weather Service calling this an observed tornado within this tornado warning. And it touched down just a few minutes ago northeast of the town of Oldsburg, about 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg. And the velocity there, this is getting close to the town of Wheaton at this point. And now the rotation is serious. There you go. This rotation right about there is almost a Highway 99. That is a dangerous storm. So if you are in Wheaton, this is getting awfully close to you. The warning goes till 7:45, and before we were seeing warnings that would probably get canceled early. This is probably going to continue at least to 7:45, if not beyond. So we have this tornado warning, and the Weather Service now saying it's confirmed that it at least touched down at least once, and the storm spotter saying that it was down and then roped out. But a storm spotter saying they saw this thing on the ground for about 5 minutes until roping out. So we did have a tornado warning, a tornado that touched down there northeast of Oldsburg a few minutes ago, and it may touch down again at any point. If it's not right now, it may be. So just to the west of Wheaton there, location on that rotation. Let's get the distance on this. Do the velocity mode here, and to give you a distance from where it is from Wheaton to the rotation, it may be 6 miles. And that is a strong sign of rotation that could produce a tornado any time if it's not at the moment. It very well may be. So getting very close to Highway 99 there is the potential for a tornado. Showing on the radar here, I'm looking at the debris mode to see if I see anything flying, and it's difficult to pick it out, but the rotation there is showing up pretty well at this point. Again, that's about 6 miles west of Wheaton, very close to Highway 99 and Highway 13. Kind of right in the middle of that, but all of this area here, there's several eddies. They're showing rotation in this area. I would take shelter if you're in there for sure. Again, we had the National Weather Service saying that Storm Spotter did confirm this thing as touching down a few minutes ago. And I'm going to see if we have any viewers that are submitting pictures of this thing, as we just might, is a possibility. And let's see, what do we got? All right, so again, confirmed tornado with this just a few minutes ago at 7:25 p.m. They said it stayed down for about 5 minutes. And getting some decent pictures of this now showing up, actually. All right, let's see if I can bring this up for you to see. All right, so we had a tornado confirmed a few minutes ago that touched down northeast of Oldsburg, about 7 miles. Here's the location right there. And that's what the National Weather Service says. They saw this thing as somebody confirmed as being on the ground. The rotation on it now is getting awfully close to the town of Wheaton. That's where it's going to be at this time. So the most dangerous area, very close to where Highway 13 meets up with Highway 99. That's where the rotation on this is certainly going to be. So if this touches down, that is where it is at this point, is right about there. So please take shelter. Again, it's a confirmed tornado with this. At least it was confirmed on the ground a few minutes ago. I don't know if it's on the ground now or not, but the signs on that point to it most likely being either on the ground or a funnel, or could be rotating wall clouds, what was reported earlier. And I'm getting quite a few pictures of this that are coming in now, and I'm going to show you these as soon as I get them up here on the proper map for you. All right, so again, tornado warning with this going till 7:45. It confirmed touchdown at least a few minutes ago near 7:25 to 7:30 is what it looks like. It was actually on the ground for sure. At least it was reported that way. And now the rotation is strongest right there north, just west of Wheaton, just about 6 miles is where that's going to be. Let's check out the camera again from Manhattan, and we had a picture coming in from Tuttle Creek Lake where somebody was seeing it pretty well. That's why I'm trying to check this one again. So Tuttle Creek Lake is closer than my camera is to that location, but I can't see it from there. I'm going to check out the other camera view I have here from the western part of Shawnee County. Look that way, and I could see well past Jeffrey Energy Center with it. I want to see if my camera can get over there or not. That's the one from Menninger Hill, this one right there. So we're looking over toward the storm there, and I can't see it very well. All right, so again, they're saying this has a confirmed tornado with it at least a few minutes ago, and that was located in the just northeast of Oldsburg, about 6 miles the location, and the velocity here is going to put this in Wheaton in just the next few minutes. So if you're in Wheaton, please take shelter right now. This does have a strong sign of rotation with it right now. It definitely does. So if you're there in Wheaton, you should be taking shelter right now. This is showing stronger signs of rotation now than it was earlier. That is a very dangerous storm at this point from what I can see. Please take shelter there in Wheaton, or if you're near the intersection of Highway 13 and 99. If you're anywhere in that area, I strongly encourage you to take shelter right now. That is a dangerous looking storm. It looked like it was fizzling or falling apart before, and now it looks like it is quite strong and doing just fine. All right, now my camera from Manhattan is doing a better job of seeing this thing. So let's go back to that again. And you can see a pretty good wall cloud there from the distance from this now. This is it. So we've got the wall cloud there on this, and I can draw it on. There's a wall cloud on this that's looking off to the northeast from Manhattan, so I have the better lighting on that now just from the position of the storm. I can see it better than I could earlier, so now I have decent eyes on that. I will be watching it very closely, obviously, but I don't see it down from that angle. At least I can't at the moment, but I do have at least a better set of eyes on it than I did a few minutes ago. And with the humidity this high, it's going to be hard to pick that out. So we're 20 miles away from my camera. New tornado warning coming in now, and that's going to be downstream of the first one. And this is going to be a Doppler radar indicated tornado. This is going to be for parts of Marshall, Nemaha, and Pottawatomie counties. And the Weather Service says on this, 7:41 p.m., capable of producing a tornado located over Blaine, moving east at 20, ping pong ball size hail, and potential for a tornado. Blaine, Onaga, and Wheaton should all be taking shelter from this. They are no longer calling it a confirmed tornado. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. But what I'm seeing there on the radar is some of the nastiest rotation we've seen today. So the new tornado warning, they're taking this downstream because it has a history of producing a tornado at this point. So it's not like earlier when we didn't know if it was doing anything. At this point, we have spotters reported a rapidly rotating wall cloud. Now I have several spotters that are sending in pictures of funnel clouds and that kind of things. And we have a report, at least from one storm chaser, saying it was down for a couple of minutes northeast of Oldsburg, about 7 miles. But this couple of areas of rotation here, one right there, very close to Highway 13 and 99, and another about 5 miles south of there, I'd say maybe 5 miles north of Westmoreland. Both of those are potential tornadoes at this point, and could touch down at any point. If they aren't at this point, they certainly could. All right, back over to the velocity, and there's your new tornado warning. It's this white polygon out here that goes for parts of Nemaha, Pottawatomie, and the southeast part of Marshall County. So once again, if you're in Marysville farther north, you may have your weather radio screeching in Marysville. You're not in a tornado warning, even though you have lots of activity that's in your county. Westmoreland, you've had your weather radio screeching too, although the warnings are staying north of you. So in Nemaha County, if you're in areas like Corning, Goff, up to Seneca, you're not in the tornado warning. It's staying south of you, but it's in your county. So you may have your weather radio screeching in those areas because of that. So checking out the velocity again, if you're in Wheaton, you should be taking shelter right now. And that thing's getting more intense, as a matter of fact, now. I'm going to zoom in on this and check out some of these velocity values on this. Let's stop it and put it on the now mode right here and check out how fast things are moving in this. I'm not sure if it's going to be a big number, but right there it's going to be a minus 59, and right beside it you've got, let's see, what's this going to be? 8. So you've got winds going opposite directions, just 1 pixel apart. This red mixed in here right beside these bright greens, that indicates that the winds are moving in opposite directions right there. So that is a very strong sign of rotation, and potentially a tornado could be there at any point. So back on the reflectivity on this, you'll see where the warning was issued, the tornado warning just issued. It's going to be right there for that area that's going toward the town of Wheaton. Now, the old tornado warning expired at 7:45 p.m. That was the one that's confirmed, that a touchdown 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg. This new tornado warning goes, let's see what time, expiration time is on that. The old tornado warning was going until 7:45, so it's expired. This one goes to 8:15, and includes parts of Marshall, Nemaha, and Pottawatomie County. And again, as I mentioned, if you're in up toward Marysville or over toward Seneca, you're not in this tornado warning, even though your weather radio might be going off. It's part of your county, but it's not that far to the north. So again, checking out the view there from Manhattan. This is from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus, looking off to the northeast there. And this potential tornado is roughly 22 miles northeast of that camera. So with the humidity this high and the temperatures this hot and the storm that far away, it's hard to pick out. We've had other situations where I certainly could pick out a tornado at that distance, so I'm going to keep an eye on this just in case. And you can see the lowering there. That is the wall cloud, and if it was going to produce a tornado, it'd be underneath that thing. So while I don't see it on the ground at this point, that camera does have a good angle, at least, to see it if it was a touchdown. But again, it's in so much rain and the humidity is so high in that area, I may not be able to see this even if it was to touch down. So again, that's how it looks right now from Manhattan, looking off to the northeast, about 20 miles in that direction. I'm going to try to share some of the pictures from you guys with you here to see if I can show you some of the viewer pictures that are coming in on this. Weather pics here. I'll bring it back up here with my other source. You can see this with me. And there are a few interesting pictures of this that have come in. And don't see pictures of actual tornado, but you can see the lowering of this, and you can tell the thing has got spin to it from looking at it. All right, so these are some of your pictures that are coming in to Weather Pics on WIBW.com under the weather page. There you go. That's a pretty amazing picture there of the striations of that. You can see the spin to it right there in this storm, and that's looking from Tuttle Creek Reservoir from Darla about 10 minutes ago. There is an image from Westmoreland Road and Oak Grove Road at 711 from Ella, and that's awfully close to touching down in that image right there. This is from Greg from near Fostoria, and there's a picture from Karen. And that's a great image of the storm. I believe it's a drone from Sean White sending us that one 23 minutes ago, looking north from Manhattan just before the tornado warning was issued. So some great pictures coming in from you guys. Just make sure you're safe. I don't want anybody taking risks while you're getting these pictures. Please don't. But if you're in an area that's safe to do it, then we appreciate you sharing them with us here. So we can give a better idea of exactly what's going on. All right, so again, now we're looking at a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Earlier it was confirmed in Pottawatomie County. It was 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg was the location when it officially touched down. I don't have any reports of damage or any of that kind of thing, but that's the storm now looking northeast from Manhattan. You can see the wall cloud, the lowering there, and certainly a dangerous storm. It has a lot of spin on it from the radar at this point, certainly more spin than we did earlier with this when it was coming across parts of Washington, Marshall counties. And now it has a confirmed tornado a few minutes ago at 7:25 p.m. is when it touched down 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg. And now it is a tornado warning that's considered to be radar indicated as it makes its way toward Wheaton. But this does have a noticeable hook echo now, and there's a new hook echo forming just south of Oldsburg now. So we may have more tornado warnings issued on this. That's a real possibility. Westmoreland, you will have to watch for that one. So we may have more of these things issued. That's a real possibility at this point. All right, so let's check the velocity. And if you're in Wheaton, you should be taking shelter right now. There's a lot of different areas of rotation there. This could produce a tornado really close to Highway 99 at any time. So Wheaton, you should be taking shelter right now. Onaga, you are also in the path of this. You should be taking shelter right now as well. Westmoreland, I'm watching out kind of the west of you. There is some rotation showing up in the clouds there as well. So we're going to have to watch for possibly more tornado warnings being issued. This thing just south of Oldsburg, that could become another tornado warning. That's a real possibility. But right now, Wheaton, Onaga, please take shelter in these areas for me now, if you will. That's the areas where the potential for a tornado is the highest right now. It's moving your direction. And if you are in Westmoreland, just a heads up that I'm watching storms that are developing kind of to your west. Yeah, really just almost straight west of Westmoreland. Watching you guys for the potential for a potential for a rotating storm that may continue to develop. So around Westmoreland, just heads up, that thing that's just south of Oldsburg has spin to it, and it could also become a problem. So just a heads up there that that's something we're watching. But this thing that's just south of Wheaton and getting close to Onaga there, that is a dangerous storm, and there's a strong sign there. This inflow right here in this area, that is a solid sign of rotation in the storm. So around Wheaton, you should be taking shelter right now. Onaga, you should be ready to take shelter if you're not already. Havensville should also be ready to take shelter as well as the storm is getting close to you as well. And I'm keeping an eye on the different cameras here. It's just in an area I don't have a great camera to look at that area right now, but I do have the one from Manhattan where I can kind of see to the storm. I don't have one that's super close to it. All right, so Wheaton over to Onaga, you're taking shelter right now for me. And again, this thing touched down a little while ago when it was 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg. That's the location right there. That's a tornado symbol is where this touched down at 7:25 p.m. was the time it officially touched down. All right, Weather Service canceling a severe storm warning for Dickinson County, and they are continuing one for Clay and Ottawa County. So let's check out some of the other storm warnings that are going on. We, of course, have the tornado warning that's issued right there for parts of Pottawatomie, Nemaha, and Marshall counties. But we also have severe storm warnings that are issued for other areas in the WIBW viewing region. And this will continue to fill in most likely as this is the cold front that's starting to come in. So around Clay Center, you have a severe storm that's moving your way. The tornado warning is this thing that's getting close to Wheaton. But we have storms that are filling in over here, getting close to a Clay Center at this point. The hail in that, about the size of a nickel, and looks like the wind speed is 60 miles per hour. But I'm expecting to see these filling in more over the next few hours. And this should be more of a wind damage threat, is what we expect as the cold front starts moving into this extremely hot and humid air mass. We're continuing to see these storms with tornado warnings issued with them, at least one that appears to have touched down. As we zoom out, it's easy to pick out the rotation on this, on the velocity from this distance. Sometimes it's harder like this, but in this case you can really see right there, this thing is that rotation that's been persistent over the last hour right there, coming from the northwest part of Pottawatomie County, now getting almost to Wheaton. So that thing's been spinning easily for an hour. The other rotations that were in parts of Washington and Marshall County were kind of absorbed into the storms to the north, but this one, kind of the southern edge of it, has been persistently spinning as getting closer and closer to areas around Wheaton and Westmoreland, getting almost right over Highway 99 right now. So I would not be surprised to get some pretty wild images of rotating wall cloud out of that coming in shortly here. And I might be able to get a view of it with our weather camera that's in the northwest part of Shawnee County looking over there. But this thing, that storm that's getting close to, it's really just past Highway 99 now, really almost to Wheaton. That has a lot of spin with it. So folks around Wheaton, Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. That's a dangerous storm with a strong sign of rotation just southwest of the town of Wheaton right now. And I do strongly encourage you to take shelter there around Wheaton especially, and then Onaga, you should be ready to take shelter in the next few moments if you're not already. That is moving in your direction. Havensville, you're not in the tornado warning at this point, but you also should be paying close attention to it and ready to take shelter if this does get to you, as it's not that far away. Again, there's the view from Manhattan at this point, and you can see the lowering to this off on the kind of the right side of your screen there, but not seeing the tornado from that viewpoint. I'm going to see if I have more viewer pictures coming in on this thing. And again, we had some great pictures of wall clouds and rotation earlier. I just encourage you to be very cautious and don't take any risks at all with your safety. If you were to see something like this, or if you're in the path of these, just don't take any chances, please. I want everyone to be as safe as possible. I don't want anybody taking risks out there trying to get pictures of tornadoes and that kind of thing. It's interesting to see, but it's not vital. We can show people the radar a lot of times what's going on. All right, so let's go back here and see what pictures we do have coming in. That's going to be the image from Manhattan, but I want to go all the way back to the beginning here. There we go. Okay, so this came in from Don Hubbard near Oldsburg, 6 miles southeast of Oldsburg, looking toward the storm, and that's your rotation right there. The tornado would touch down the right side of that is where this would be. So you can see that amazing image there. That's from 5 miles west of Westmoreland, from Donna. Sending that image in. And Carrie from Wakefield, there's some lightning near Oldsburg. There's an amazing image of the rotation near Tuttle Creek Reservoir right there. That's the rotation for sure with this. And an image there from near Westmoreland Road and Oak Grove Road, 7:11 p.m. was the time of that image. So again, temperatures to the west are cooling down behind this cold frontal boundary. We had a warm front that's setting off these tornado risks, but the cold front as it moves in, you can now see the winds are coming in from the northwest along this line. That's the cold front that's moving. It's extremely hot and humid air mass that's in place, and that will set off probably quite a few storms with straight line winds that could be a risk this evening. And it'll be more of a kind of an organized line. Now looking at the view from Manhattan again, you can still see the wall cloud there to the northeast of town. It's getting farther away from the camera at this point. The rotation on this getting very close to the town of Wheaton at this point. The National Weather Service is still considering this to be a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning, and the rotation on that is still very persistent, very close to the town of Wheaton right now. If you're in Wheaton, please take shelter right now. This rotation is very close to you. I'm going to check out the debris mode here and see if I see anything flying. There's some suspicious things in there, but I can't for sure say if what I see as being a tornado signature. There's times in the past where it's pretty obvious, But if it's not obvious, I don't want to say that that it is if I'm not sure. But in this case, we do have a couple areas of rotation there. Let's see. Wheaton should be taking shelter. Onaga should be taking shelter. And folks around Westmoreland, heads up, just in case they were dropped a tornado warning farthest south. All right, new severe storm warning issued a few moments ago here for Clay, Riley, and Washington counties. And this is going to go until 8:45 p.m. for the severe thunderstorm warning. That's this right here. This is a continuation of the storm. Actually, that might be a new storm. Let me back up here. Yeah, that's a new storm that's just developed. Actually, no, that's the storm coming out of Clay Center area. So this severe storm warning for hail smaller than nickels, wind gust of 60, and that's going to go through Clay Center and then start moving toward areas like Randolph and Riley are going to be in the path of that storm. All right, now the rotation area that we've been worried about is this thing is getting close to Wheaton at this point. So if you are in Wheaton, please take shelter right now if you haven't already. That's a very dangerous storm. It's going to move over the town of Wheaton basically right now, heading toward Onaga in the next few minutes here. And then Havensville is in the path of this as well. And then Circleville, if it continues, make its way east, could impact areas like Circleville. The rotation on that, let me look at it again here, and we'll loop it back over the last hour. And it's been persistent for more than an hour now. But certainly Wheaton and Onaga, there's enough area of spin in there. You should be taking shelter in these communities right now as this moves through. That is a very dangerous storm. There's not huge hail in this from what I have seen. Let's see what's showing up on the hail tracker at this point. And, you know, it's probably quarter size at the largest. There could be some ping pong ball size hailstones in there. But sometimes these super hot days like this, the hail melts a lot on the way down. So while it may be showing up at cloud level, sometimes it doesn't make it to the ground. All right, so the tornado warning continuing till 8:15 for this area of rotation that's close to Wheaton and getting close to Onaga, and ultimately Havensville will be in that as well. And the rotation on that, go back here again. There's a few areas of spin. It's not one area of spin like it was a little while ago. It's coming into Wheaton. You really had two different areas that were pretty well organized rotation. And now, you know, it's kind of a cluster of different rotations. So the possibility of a tornado still exists in there, but I don't see one specific spot. Looks to be the most problematic at this time, like it was a little while ago. But around Wheaton and Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. Havensville, you should be ready to take shelter at any point here if this tornado warning was to be continued over to the Havensville area, which is certainly a possibility. So at this point, it's still a Doppler radar indicated tornado. It touched down earlier when it was 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg, and zooming back out, I really expect to see this line filling in a bit more as the evening rolls on. Here's how the radar looks. We zoom out now. Let me take us back 3 hours, as a matter of fact, and loop it. And you'll be able to see the storms forming over the last 3 hours along this cold front and making their way east. So 3 hours ago there wasn't a lot, and now you've got a line of these storms. And that will continue making its way eastward through the evening. And many of us are going to see at least some storms this evening, and some of those are probably going to be severe at points. Wind damage is going to be the most common threat tonight. I don't expect to see a whole lot of tornado warnings, although we have seen several already, obviously. But as the sun goes down, the threat of tornado warnings should go down. All right. Seeing if I have more images from viewers here. And it looks like we do have a few here. I want to show you from our weather website on WIBW.com. Some people are sending in more pictures of this. Okay. Again, we have the Doppler radar indicated tornado warning that's in place near Wheaton at this point. It's not as impressive on the radar as it was a few minutes ago, and it looks to me like it, from the reports, it touched down northeast of Oldsburg just about 7:25 p.m. Right now, if there is a tornado, it's very close to the town of Wheaton, and Onaga would be next in line to potentially be dealing with a tornado. This does have a history of touching down. Storm spotters say they have seen this is on the ground, and it was down for about 5 minutes earlier. So we'll see if there's any damage. I don't have confirmation of damage at this point, but certainly that's a possibility. I'm going to go back here in the slideshow and check out some of your pictures. This is from Maddie. Let's go to this one first. This is from Jeannie. 3 minutes ago, she was that's near Olsburg, about 7:30. You can see the clouds almost on the ground there. This is from Maddie, west of Onaga. You can see the rotation there on the bottom. That's the rapidly rotating wall cloud. The mothership is what a lot of people will call that as well. There's a picture of it as well from Alyssa. Here's that mothership image there from Michaela. Mothership there, that's a really scary looking cloud. That's what that is. These are called motherships by Storm Chaser from Darla, and that's from the west side of Tuttle Creek Reservoir was that image. This is north of Wheaton, and that looks like the tornado right there in the middle of that image from Lily. So that is either a funnel cloud or a tornado right there north of Wheaton. And I'm going to back up again and see what other images we have coming in here. This is an image from Cary at Wakefield. There's a rainbow. That's a funnel cloud looking northwest of Manhattan, probably northeast of Manhattan. Randolph earlier, and you can see the lowering there in that image. So a couple of those really showing the rotation of this powerful supercell storm that could produce a tornado at any time. It looks like it did produce a tornado earlier when it was northeast of Olsburg, about 7 miles. Now, something I'm noticing here on the wind gust image is right there over Marion County, that area of purple there. I don't have an official observation coming in from that, but that's indicating very strong winds with the severe storms that are moving through that area in McPherson County. There's the storm from Manhattan now, and as we look at this rotation near Wheaton, that's the most dangerous area now is Wheaton to Onaga. The strongest area of rotation is not as well defined as it was a few minutes ago. What we've seen on these is they kind of pulse. They've been going tornadic or rotating and then kind of going away, and then it reforms. And so we've got it kind of meandering there right on top of Wheaton at this point and getting close to Onaga in the next few minutes. So that's the most dangerous part of the storm. And the Doppler radar indicated tornado warning with this. It's no longer considered an observed tornado. It's considered a Doppler radar indicated tornado. So Wheaton, Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. In Havensville, you should be ready in case we call you out and say, please take shelter. You would be a possibility. All right, I've got some really good images coming in now this as well from near Onaga Road, that is. And I'm going to see if I can get these images up for you as well. So I've got some really amazing pictures coming in of these storms now. So Wheaton, Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. This is a Doppler radar estimated tornado at this point in these areas around Wheaton and Onaga. But you should be taking shelter right now, as this thing has a history of producing tornadoes, and it could touch down at any point. It is a dangerous storm. It has a tornado warning going until 8:15, so about 10 more minutes here. And this image I'm going to show you here is from Brendan, and that looks like either a tornado or a funnel cloud. I can't tell if that's on the ground right there, but that is Sherman Road near Onaga, Kansas from just a couple of minutes ago, and that is either a funnel cloud or a tornado. I can't tell if it's down, but that's what we're looking at, is that kind of storm, which was near Onaga just a little while ago. There's another image from Brendan, and you can see the mothership storm cloud there of that. And those kind of storms usually produce very large hail. In this case, it's so hot the hail is probably melting on the way down, but it's producing enough rotation. We're seeing tornado warnings with it. And that right there from north of Wheaton, from Lily, looks like either a funnel cloud or a tornado as well. So getting a couple of images of this now, they're coming in. All right, update here. Weather Service issuing new severe storm warning for Clay, Cloud, and Washington County. Let's check that one out. And we're going to see this line filling in a bit more, most likely, where the storms are going to be more wind damage threats as they begin to fill in a bit more. And as we zoom in here, I'm going to change over to just the single site reflectivity. And I want to see that storm as it develops there. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see that over the last few minutes, if we back this up to 7:40, you'll see the storm south of Concordia was really nothing, and if I roll this forward to right now in 20 minutes, this went from no storm to a severe storm that's in progress right there near Concordia at this point. The severe storm warning does not include Concordia, but that's the cold front that's moving its extremely hot and humid air mass that's making its way through northeast Kansas. And as the cold front is bumping into this hot, humid air mass, we're seeing these severe storms developing. Again, we had the one we had a couple actually that have produced tornado warnings at this point, and at least one actually produced a tornado. So looking to the west, or looking to the east and southeast from Concordia, you can see the extremely heavy rainfall and even some hail there just southwest, just southeast of Concordia from the camera from Clyde County Community College. That one is not going to be a tornado risk. It is an area where the wind is coming in from the west at this point, so the risk of seeing a tornado warning with that, or a tornado at all, is extremely low. But it is going to be a severe storm. It's going to possibly produce some wind damage. All right, so checking this storm out near Wheaton again, the rotation is not as tight as it was. And they are going to issue a new tornado warning with this as it goes farther to the east. Okay, so we're going to continue with tornado warnings with this. They're probably going to issue another one to the east. So Havensville and Circleville, you're probably going to have a new tornado warning issued here in the next few moments for those areas. This storm has been rotating for a while. It's continued to produce rotation over and over again, and it's very likely they're going to issue a new tornado warning with this coming into the northern part of Jackson County, and the southeast part of Nemaha County may be in that as well. So that's a possibility. We may see another tornado warning issued with that. So just a heads up, that's a possibility. It's not a 100% sure thing at this point, but that's something that's a real possibility now from what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm going to back up again here. I'm going to go back through the graphics and see what the winds are doing. In areas like Concordia with this are kind of behind the storm. And those are the weather pictures we had coming in, of course. So let's check out the winds. The heat index is not as bad in areas like Concordia, which is behind the cold front. So Concordia right there has a north wind reported at Blosser Airport, not strong, but from the north. Salina north wind, Manhattan north wind as well. Holton, Topeka, Council Grove, the winds are coming in from the south. So these areas are still ahead of the cold front and still have the higher risk of seeing severe weather and even tornadoes. You can see the wind damage happening where the winds are coming from the north at this point, but there we go. Now we have 80-mile-per-hour winds with this thing. Good gosh. Okay, so there we go. This storm, now the Weather Service is saying, go back to that again. Which one of these storms had that on it? Is it this one? Bear with me here a moment. Which one of these storms is saying that? I saw an 80-mile-per-hour wind mentioned in one of these, and I'm not sure if it's the tornado warning or if it's something else. Okay, so we have the tornado warning there that continues for a couple more minutes. It's very possible for us to see a new tornado warning issued just east of there, including the northern part of Jackson County and the southern parts of Nemaha County. That may come in the next few moments here. Now, upstream here, I've been worried about seeing these really powerful winds with some of these. This storm, we've got 60-mile-per-hour winds for Clay, Riley, Washington. This one says 60. This one says 60. Check out this one to the south here. This may be the one. There we go. There's the wild wind. Okay, 80-mile-per-hour winds with this going through Marion County now. So this is what I mentioned a little while ago when I saw the surface winds across McPherson County were showing some really high values. Now we've got winds of 80 miles per hour that are possible in Marion County with this. We're going to have to be concerned then for that if it gets over to areas like the Chase County. We have some viewers there. We have a lot of viewers obviously around Emporia. But 80-mile-per-hour winds are being considered as possible with this storm that's coming through Marion County now. So Marion County, extremely dangerous storm there with 80-mile-per-hour winds as a possibility. This thing still has a tornado warning with it going for 3 more minutes for Marshall, Pottawatomie County. We will see if they actually continue this over in northern Jackson County. It's a possibility they may, as it's still showing the signs of rotation. The strongest sign of rotation right now is getting close to Onaga. Again, there was already coming over Onaga a little while ago. No, it wasn't quite to Onaga. Okay, it was coming through Wheaton. Now it's almost to Onaga. So this rotation here near Onaga is going to be the biggest danger out of that. Zoom this out a little bit. I have 2 different Onagas showing up there. I'm not sure why. But Onaga is very close to this rotation showing up in this. So Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. Havensville, I may be calling you out in just a moment to take shelter. That's a possibility. And then to the south, we're going to have to watch for these extremely strong winds. They're getting into Marion County now, as those may start to work their way across Chase County, maybe Lyon County. But this activity there that formed coming out of McPherson County going into parts of Marion County, this is part of the cold front that I was concerned about, producing very strong winds. And now it's doing that. Let's see if we have some values here from some of these reports. There's one near Canton. They say 60-mile-per-hour winds, a lot of trees down. And in McPherson, we have an 80-mile-per-hour wind report at 7:45 p.m. And there's one of 80. They have 2 different reports of 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds there around the town of McPherson. So you'll have a lot of tree damage with that kind of thing. All right, tornado warning, Jackson, Nemaha, Pottawatomie counties now issued. We are now seeing a new tornado warning issued. And this is going to go from that same kind of area of rotation near Wheaton and Onaga and take it through Havensville now. So this is going until, what time we got on this? 8:45 p.m. So we're going to go through 8:45 p.m. now with the new tornado warning that includes Onaga, it includes Havensville. And this is Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. Let's check out the text from the Weather Service here. And they say, possible tornado located near Onaga moving east at 20. Tornado and quarter-size hail possible. So they're putting it as near Onaga, and that's where I've been mentioning it as well, of course. But the rotation on that is not as tight as it was or as easy to pick out as it was a moment ago, but certainly the most likely place for a tornado at this point would be the area near Onaga right there. So I'm going to check again and see if we have more pictures coming in from viewers on this. We certainly might. We've had quite a few coming in now. Got some from, there's one near Onaga and Wheaton. Lots of pictures coming in. Oh my gosh, there's hundreds of these. Amazing. All right, take a moment for to ingest my system and then I'll share some of these with you as well. From Colbert Hills there's an image, from Concordia. So we have several areas with severe storms in place right now. And right now we're dealing with small parts of the viewing area that are dealing with potential tornadoes. So Onaga, you should be taking shelter. Havensville, you should be taking shelter. Another concern I have is this possibility for some higher end straight line winds. This stuff coming across McPherson County has confirmed 80-mile-per-hour winds with this. They're now moving toward Hillsborough and Marion. And if we could see winds like that with that storm, then we certainly could see winds like that developing up here with these Clay Center Manhattan storms. We're going to have to watch for these storms to be potentially very dangerous with strong straight line winds, possibly with several of these being a real possibility. All right, so now I'm going to show you another view here. Check this out. This will be from Manhattan now, and we were talking about Manhattan earlier when I was looking at the storm cloud that's so far away. But look at this. That's the severe storm that's just north of Manhattan now. And you can really see the lowering of the clouds in there. This is not considered to be tornadic stuff. And last check, the winds were coming from the north in Manhattan, but certainly you're seeing very low clouds in this activity. And this is going to have to be, this is something that we could see very strong winds with some of these storms. But looking to the north from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus, that's just an amazing looking storm cloud there just north of Manhattan. And this is part of the cold front that's moving in, and I believe it's going to bring wind damage to quite a few communities in the area. So this is really just kind of getting going, and you can see that very dangerous storm just north of Manhattan at this point. That's not the tornado warning storm. This is a totally different storm that's formed behind it along the cold front. So again, tornado warning is in place now till 8:45 p.m. for this same activity. that's near Onaga now, and Havensville is where we're seeing the potential for a tornado at this point. So Onaga and Havensville, you should be taking shelter right now. If you're in Nemaha County and your weather radio just went off, if you're up towards Seneca, Centralia, Axtell, you do not have a threat of a tornado up there. It is the southern edge of the county. The northeast part of Pottawatomie County is where this rotation is showing up, and potentially a tornado. Near Onaga is the location of that. So if we were to see a tornado touch down, it is that thing that is near Onaga is going to be the most dangerous part of this. Certainly Onaga should be taking shelter right now with that dangerous part of the storm. You're in your area. All right, I'm looking, trying to pick out if I can see that storm near Onaga from my camera at northwest corner of Shawnee County. I just can't see it up there. Okay, so I'm not going to put too much time into that. I don't want to mess up something else by trying to focus too much on that if I don't have it. Okay, so what I'm seeing though is this line of storms that's forming here. This area is close to the cold front. We're going to see storms developing within there really any time. We're already seeing severe storms, obviously, but any place in there could see storms develop with winds of 70 or even up to 80 miles per hour as a possibility as the cold front spreads through this extremely hot, very humid air masses in place. A lot of instability, obviously. Now, the severe storm watch goes down to McPherson County. It doesn't go past that, though. And Coffee County is not included in the severe storm watch. It goes till 1 a.m., but I would not be surprised to see the watch expanded farther to the south with this line of storms. It's a real possibility they can, and it's many times they will expand these severe storm watches as the storm kind of unfolds throughout the day, as you see it kind of develop. And as I mentioned before, these storms don't look at tornado watch or severe storm watches like a fence. And certainly the text even will say in these that severe storms are possible in and around the watch area. You know, it's not considered to be an exact threat area. It is an approximation of the greatest threat area. And many times, like I said, they will add counties onto the edge of these watch areas sometimes. Okay, now back to the west here. Westmoreland has a more significant sign of rotation now than I saw a few minutes ago. That's a new rotation showing up there. We've seen that kind of growing southward at times today, where we saw new rotations forming farther to the south of other rotations. That looks very dangerous. This thing near Westmoreland looks like it could be a tornado. Let's check out the velocity, the reflectivity on there, and it's just out ahead of that. And I'm going to check out the camera here from Manhattan and see if I can see over to that. That looks like a dangerous storm. Kind of to the northeast of Manhattan there, and see if I can pick that out. But that's got certainly has spin to it, and it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see a tornado warning issued for that thing. Okay, so now we're looking from the northwest from Manhattan. I don't want to scare people in Westmoreland, for goodness sake, but you have rotation that's close to you, and it would not be surprising to see a tornado warning issued for that. That's a real possibility. All right, so right now, David, we have a tornado warning till 8:45. That's where it is right now. I think we'll have strong winds probably going on later than that. Okay. Still wall-to-wall with the tornado warning. There's a rotation near Westmoreland right now that just showed up. Is the newest thing I've seen. We had a confirmed tornado northeast of Oldsburg, about 7 miles. That was at about approximately 7:30. Have 80-mile-per-hour winds heading McPherson right now, moving to Marion County. So this will be a kind of a widespread wind event most likely this evening. And the tornado that touched down was near 7 miles northeast of Oldsburg was what we had report there. Okay, so I'm looking again at this camera from Manhattan, and you know, I'm concerned about that rotation showing up on the radar near Westmoreland. It does not have a tornado warning with it at this point, but it does have a strong spin to it. The tornado warning we do have at this point is this thing that's right over Onaga and is moving toward Havensville. So Onaga and Havensville, you should be taking shelter right now. As a matter of fact, the rotation that's over Onaga is looking stronger now than it did earlier, and you do have the tornado warning with it. Denny, you have a question?
No, just a passing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so the tornado warning near Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now. The rotation on that is stronger than it was a few minutes ago. So if you're in Onaga, please take shelter right now. If you're in Havensville, please take shelter right now. If you're in Westmoreland, I am watching that thing very closely, as you know, that looks like that's rotation to me. We've got winds going in different directions, kind of just north of town. It's that's an area I'm concerned about. It doesn't have a tornado warning with it at this point. We do have a severe storm warning there. You know, just because it's spinning doesn't mean it's going to touch down, but that's a dangerous looking storm to me, and it's certainly going to produce strong straight line winds. So around Westmoreland, you should be staying inside at least, and be ready to take shelter in case we call you out. That's a possibility. Let's check out the newest updates coming in here. We have okay. Still concerned about the Onaga area. That's the latest update here. Clay County, Riley, Washington. There's a warning there that just got canceled. And we still have the warning going on for the folks around Onaga and Havensville. So let's zoom in on this more closely. I'm going to show you this area of this rotation and why it's kind of worrying me more now than even it was a few moments ago. You're seeing this notch kind of feeding back into this. So that's a more well-defined reflectivity signature than it was a few minutes ago. This is kind of loose, but here this is a very well-defined hook echo showing up on that with this very dangerous storm. So Onaga, if you haven't already been taking shelter, please take shelter in Onaga right now. That's a dangerous storm. It has a history of producing a tornado. It could produce a tornado again really at any time. That's a real possibility with this. I'm going to check out the debris mode on this and just see if this has got anything flying. And I can't always see something, but sometimes you do. Sometimes it's really obvious. In this case, I don't see an obvious sign of this thing being down. But Onaga and Havensville, you should be taking shelter right now. And I want to see how far away that hook is that's on the reflectivity there. I want to see how far west that is from Onaga. So let's do the distance here from Onaga, not there. From here to the west, okay, that's about 3-4 miles. That's where if there's a tornado in this, it's that thing that's just west of town. I'm not sure why I have two different Onagas showing up there on the map sometimes. I'll get that fixed, but I've got to figure out why it's giving me two different locations for the town at different levels there. So that's something I'll have to work on later. But for right now, if you're in Onaga, you're taking shelter, please. You have potential tornado that could touch down there really at any time. All right, I'm going to take you back and show you some more pictures of this that have come in. And again, I'm worried about that storm that's coming through parts of Marion County right now that has potential for winds could be 80 miles per hour or worse. I have it here. I can. Okay. All right. I've got some here that I can do as well. I'm bringing it up on this. I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you. All right. So looking, this is Onaga looking west from Logan a few minutes ago. And you can see what looks like a funnel cloud there. This is from near Onaga. Ann sent that in. There's from Jace overlooking Blaine and Wheaton. And you can see that mothership look again to this storm. And that's it looks like rotation because it is. There's Onaga from 12 minutes ago. And this is from Colbert Hills near Manhattan 15 minutes ago. And that image is from Concordia of the severe storm there. And again, more of this rotation near Duluth, Kansas a little while ago and near Onaga. Because they're preparing just in case they have troubles there. And there's that mothership. Again, just amazing images of this mothership-shaped supercell storm that is close to Onaga right now. So I'm sure there's going to be even more images of this coming in. And again, it's potentially a tornado. Potential tornado with this near Onaga right now, if not in the next few minutes. Let's look out from the Manhattan camera from the Stormont Vale campus there. You know, I can't see that rotation on it now. It's kind of at a distance away. But what you can see is this severe storm that's just north of Manhattan, and this has the possibility of winds to 60 miles per hour and hail the size of quarters, but this may intensify. We've already seen storms to the southwest near McPherson where the winds are as high as 80 miles per hour. So there's the tornado warning right now that is in place for the folks around Onaga are in the worst of this. Havensville, you're awfully close to this too. And then it would make its way possibly into the northwest part of Jackson County. Southern Nemaha County is also in the tornado warning there. And we continue with the severe storm warning now. Weather Service mentioning this for Marshall, Pottawatomie, and Riley. And they are saying 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's the storm I was mentioning a moment ago that we could see from the Manhattan camera. And it does include Manhattan, but it includes areas just north of town over to Oldsburg and Westmoreland are in the severe storm warning. Onaga, this is the area I'm most concerned about a potential for a tornado. And the rotation on that is significant. Just north of, really, I wouldn't say north, just near Onaga. You need to take shelter right now. If you're in or near Onaga, please take shelter right now. That rotation is very close to town. And I really think this thing that's coming into the western part of Pottawatomie, central West Pottawatomie County now, I think this is going to have very strong winds. This thing is near Westmoreland now, the southwest of the rotation. I really think that's going to have some very powerful winds that may be something north, maybe higher than 70 miles per hour. That's a real possibility with that. And again, Onaga and Havensville should be taking shelter right now. Check out the updates. The Weather Service coming in here. Marshall, Pottawatomie, warning, severe storm warning continues for until 8:45. Winds to 60 with that. And then over here, this is a severe storm warning as well for Clay, Cloud, Washington counties for winds to 60 and hail that should be smaller than quarters. And then this one in Marion County is the one that had the extreme winds, 80 miles per hour in McPherson earlier, and now the storm is charging across Marion County. And just if one storm has 80-mile-per-hour winds, you could see it with others. So we have to watch all of these very closely in case anything becomes a higher-end wind threat. All right, so tornado warning continues for folks near Onaga, near Havensville. This is still Doppler radar indicated. It did touch down earlier when it was northeast of Oldsburg, about 7 miles. And now, folks in Onaga and Havensville should be taking shelter right now. This is potentially dangerous storm. We've had a lot of viewer pictures of this coming in with that classic mothership look to it. It looks like a spaceship landing. It's got the striations from the strong rotation on it that are really classic for this kind of storm, and just signs of how strong the rotation is in it. It is very rare to see a tornado or even tornado warnings in August in this part of the world, but sometimes we get them, and clearly today is one of those days. Report now of from near Idana in Clay County that a hay barn roof was torn off by winds. That's from a storm chaser. So that's from the storm to the northwest. And again, this thing has the rotation with it that's moving toward Havens and Onaga. Havensville and Onaga are in the path of that. So please, if you're in those areas, please take shelter right now. The storm has a tornado warning with it. It has a history of producing a tornado earlier. Northeast of Oldsburg, and because it's so rain-wrapped, it is very difficult to know if it's on the ground or not, but clearly it's been showing signs of rotation for quite some time. And I'm bringing in some more of your viewer pictures here that I'll share with you. And it's very difficult to get pictures of this thing, so please don't, I don't encourage anybody to put yourself in any danger going out to try to take pictures of this. This storm especially is going to be rain-wrapped and very difficult to get a picture of, even if it's on the ground. It's going to be really kind of the definition of a rain-wrapped tornado if, in fact, it's in progress. All right, so let's check out the radar again here. There's the radar, the reflectivity showing the hook echo is very close to Onaga. You can see the kind of the inflow right there north of town, and the tornado itself would be this right here if it is a tornado. So if you're in Onaga, take shelter now. If you're in Havensville, take shelter now. If you're in Wheaton, this is probably past you, but you're still right there by the tornado warning. I would still take shelter if you're there as well. Okay, the Weather Service continuing warnings for Clay and Washington County, severe storm warnings, and also canceling the one for Cloud County. So they cropped off this warning, so it no longer includes Cloud County. It does include parts of Washington and Clay. And this tornado warning continuing until 8:45 p.m. That includes Onaga and Havensville, and could produce a tornado at any time. That's a concern with this one. And I'm trying very hard to get other camera views on it and just can't quite get it up there. All right, so the rotation on this is very close to Onaga right now and Havensville. If you're in those areas, you got to take shelter right now. Please, please take shelter. Checking out the debris mode now. Let's see if we see anything there. And it's not conclusive. There's stuff on there that could be tornado debris, but is probably not. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, talk to me. I'm listening. The chance of going past 9 p.m. I'd say 30%. I'd say 30%. This tornado warning ends at 8:45, so I'll know then. At 8:45, I'll know. All right, so looking back at the storm again, here I want to show you this, folks that are watching this here. This hook echo right now, we're at 8:32. You can see it's kind of right there, just to the west of Onaga. Let's go back in time. We're going back in time here to 8:14, and the hook echo was not that far away. The thing is, I wouldn't say it's stationary, but it is moving very, very slow as it gets right there just to the west-northwest of Onaga. So this thing is definitely not moving 30 miles per hour like it was earlier. This thing is just crawling, moving very, very slowly to the east. So I've been saying Onaga takes shelter for a long time because this thing is kind of almost dropped anchor, it looks like, and looks like it's almost stationary. And we see that sometimes. Sometimes tornadoes can become absolutely stationary. And in this case, the potential tornado is just slowing down and is not making it is moving east, but it's doing so very, very slowly. All right, continuing severe storm warnings for Marshall and Pottawatomie for winds to 60, and also canceling a warning for Riley County. So Riley County is no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning. Still got to watch this thing cutting across Marion County to see if it stays strong. Right now it's 70-mile-per-hour winds. They'll be moving into Chase County shortly. And the most dangerous thing by far is this rotation that is getting very close to the folks in Onaga. And if I loop this again, this is a 1-hour-long radar loop, and the storm was moving east fairly quickly earlier, but now at the forward motion has come to a crawl, really. Let's go back in time here to right about there. That's 8:13, and roll it up here to 8:34. So in 20 minutes, let's see how far that storm moved in 20 minutes here. We've got now and 20 minutes ago. So the distance on that, let's track it from there. It just was maybe 2.5 miles in 20 minutes. So this thing is not moving very quickly at all. Maybe 7 or 8 miles per hour is the forward motion on that. It is just crawling to the east at this point. So if I'm telling people in Onaga, take shelter, and it's Onaga over and over again, it's because the storm is moving that slowly toward Onaga. It's almost come to a stop, it looks like. Not 4 or 5 miles per hour maybe. Okay, so National Weather Service continuing warnings for Marshall, Pottawatomie for winds to 60 and hail the size of a quarter as possible. And the storm that's near Onaga has potential for producing a tornado. We haven't had a report of it producing a tornado in a while. It did so at about 7:25 to 7:30 northeast of Oldsburg, 7 miles of the location on that. And right now, folks in Onaga are certainly the primary area of worry now. We have a new severe storm warning just issued. This is going to include folks from St. George, Louisville, Wamego, all the way to Emmett. Severe thunderstorm warning with winds to 60 and a hail smaller than Nichols, so smaller than Nichols. And as I put the radar in motion there, you'll see that storm developing very close to Manhattan and making its way into the St. George, Wamego areas shortly here. So that's going to be mostly a wind threat, which is what most of these storms should be for the rest of the evening and tonight. And the Weather Service says with this, St. George, 5 miles northwest St. George, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So this part of the storm is moving much faster, while the activity near Onaga is almost at a standstill. All right, so from Manhattan, you can check out the view there from the camera in Manhattan. There's the weather pictures coming in. Temperatures are cooler. Look at Concordia, 79 degrees right now. Topeka feels like 101 for the heat index, and the storms are certainly feeding off this extremely hot, humid air. So there's Manhattan with the severe storm in progress now. That is to the north of town and to the east of town, and ultimately will move east away from a Little Apple. You may have more storms develop. That's a possibility. This is not the last one for Manhattan. You'll probably have more moving through. But again, that's the severe storm that's in progress just east of Manhattan right now, and will continue making its way through parts of Pottawatomie County, and Wabaunsee County could be dealing with that soon as well. So the severe storm warning actually includes the eastern extremes of Manhattan, but the worst of it looks like it's probably out of Manhattan within the next few moments. If it's even still producing damaging wind in the city, it's probably going to be east of town from what I see, if not right now, very shortly. But St. George to Wamego, you'll have severe storm winds moving in the next few minutes. So here's the tornado warning near Onaga. Again, this goes till 8:45. And there's a possibility of seeing that continued over into the northern part of Jackson County. But the storm has slowed down so much that what looked like we might see a tornado warning sooner for Jackson. We already have one in the northwest corner of Jackson County, but it looks like they may have one pushing farther into Jackson County much sooner. But now that rotation has come to kind of a crawl, it's not advancing quickly toward areas like Circleville and Holton, but Onaga still should be taking shelter. If you are in and around Onaga, you should be taking shelter right now with a potential tornado that's nearby. So there's more rotation showing up there just west of Onaga now, a new spin that's kind of coming across Wheaton and moving toward Onaga. Is that a new warning? Okay, a new warning just issued for Marshall and Pottawatomie going until, it's going to be till 9 o'clock. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to be for winds of 60 miles per hour. And this is more what I expected to see today, was very large areas under warnings for wind. But of course, embedded in that, we've had this threat for tornadoes at times. So there you go, new severe storm warning that goes from Centralia down to the Westmoreland areas in that, and then Wamego's in a different severe storm warning. But now we have a continuous area of severe storm warnings from almost Seneca to really just east of Manhattan that are all in severe storm warnings for damaging winds. And those warnings are all for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Nothing is high end at this point. It's all the lowest level of a severe storm warning is what we're seeing there. All right, I'm going to look at some of your viewer pictures coming in here, and then share them with you here as well in the live coverage. Again, the tornado warning going until 8:45. That includes folks in the northeast part of Pottawatomie and northwest parts of Jackson County. And if we see the tornado warnings all expire, then we'll go back to a regular broadcast on TV. But until that happens, if there is a tornado warning somewhere in the WIBW viewing area, we will cover it the entirety through. Whether it's the most highly populated area, part of the northeast Kansas, or if it's a rural area, we're still going to cover any tornado warning in the WIBW viewing area to make sure that we're covering folks. And I know we cover up some of your favorite programming sometime, and that's just what we have to do. So, but Onaga right now should be taking shelter. Havensville, you should be taking shelter right now. This tornado warning goes for about 5 more minutes, and if this thing was to get dropped, then we would end the wall-to-wall coverage here on TV. So within the next few moments here, we will see if they reissue a tornado warning downstream for this, or if they let it go. But for now, we continue to have tornado warnings active there in the northeast part of Pottawatomie County and the northwest part of Jackson County. It does not go all the way to Holton or Circleville. You're not in this. But folks for Onaga and Havensville certainly are. Let's go back and check out viewer pictures again. So here you go. These new pictures coming in. This is says a half mile north of Onaga looking north. And that is a funnel cloud or a tornado from Logan with that picture. And then Ann near Onaga sending that picture in. That's from Layton. That's near Havensville. You got the mothership, still this classic mothership I'm sure some storm chaser is going to have a wild time lapse of this thing. Just had this mothership look for a couple of hours now. That's northwest of Onaga. That could be a tornado or a funnel cloud, one of the two right there. From Jody 12 minutes ago. From Kimber near Westmoreland. There's the mothership look from Megan. And just amazing pictures there on WIBW.com. If you have time to post your pictures, please do. Just please don't put yourself in any danger if you do go out and get pictures for us. New severe storm warning now includes a lot of Morris County, including Council Grove, it looks like. Again, there's that storm cloud that's over Manhattan right now, looking out from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus. And the worst part of that storm looks like it's going to be just to the east of Manhattan. So there's the new severe storm warning I mentioned. I want to show this to you. Council Grove is in this new one. And I don't have word on this tornado warning yet if they're going to cancel it or not. Okay, yep, we're going to continue, guys. All right. So, hey, Bridge, we're going to eat up the 9. You got me? Okay. Okay, so it's very likely we'll have a new one of these issued. And it's probably going to be for the same area. Okay, so Council Grove has a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued the last few moments here that is for winds to 60 miles per hour. Chase County has a severe storm warning for up to 70 miles per hour. And do you have my iPhone?
Yeah.
Let me have it. Thank you. All right, so we've got the severe storm warning that's in Chase County and Morris County at this point. And we'll have a new tornado warning issued in the next few moments here. Most likely it'll include probably the same area where it's already been. And, all right. David, are you out there? Can you send David in here to help me out, please, for a moment? All right, so thank you. So what we're going to have here is a new tornado warning issued in the next few moments here that will include folks around, probably around Onaga again, and northwest Jackson County. So we're seeing this rotation kind of persistently sitting in the same areas there. So what we're going to see is this probably issued again, and we're seeing viewer pictures there that are coming in that look like we've got potentially a tornado close to Onaga and Havensville. So there's the new tornado warning coming in here. And if you can show a few viewer pictures from there, that'd be awesome. And so have Denny get you to that. All right, so again, the new tornado warning, there's going to be the Onaga and Havensville areas, and this is going to go, let's get the new time on this. And the warning, this is going till 9:15 now. And again, they're going with this as Doppler radar indicated is the tornado warning on this. All right, so we've got the tornado warning now for the Havensville area, Onaga. Circleville's not quite in this. You'll see this this storm, the rotation on this, the hook echo, is just crawling eastward. It's very close to Onaga at this point, but it's been close to Onaga for the last 20 minutes. And it really looks like it's not going eastward more than maybe 5 miles per hour. And then a new rotation is forming there just southwest of Onaga and could impact the town and Havensville as well. Okay.
Get in there, Jeremy. Hang on.
Thank you. All right, tornado warning continues till 9:15. Onaga, Havensville. These are the areas I'm most concerned about, but the rotation is now starting to crawl southward a little bit. So areas that are south of Onaga could also be in this. So we're not just looking at the rotation near Onaga and Havensville. It's kind of a bigger area that's in the threat. But certainly the greatest threat is that Onaga-Havensville bullseye right there. and very concerned about you guys having potential tornado. That's a real possibility. Now, we've had it touch down earlier near Oldsburg. We've had several pictures coming in from viewers near Onaga, what look like funnel clouds or tornadoes. And we're going to have David share some of these pictures with you from viewers that are on WIBW.com in just a moment. Those have been updated. They have been updated. So are you ready to show some of those?
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, I think we are.
All right, go ahead and check in with David if you guys would.
Yeah, we'll give Jeremy a little break here. Obviously, a lot of you are watching our coverage tonight, and you're seeing this storm unfold as it moves to the east across northeast Kansas. Here's one picture. This one looks like it came in about 6 minutes ago from Seco Park in Manhattan around 8:40. You can see that the shelf cloud there pretty significantly there in that picture as well. Look, we've got some from looks like as well, and that's where Jeremy seems to be most concerned in that region with some of the different cells that are moving through there. Here's one from Janet, a giant cloud near Onaga. This came in about 6 minutes. She's got another one here as well. It's another cloud formation there near Onaga. So if you've got some pictures, folks, I mean, we don't want you to get out there in any danger, but if you're in a position where you can take some pictures here, obviously, you can share those with us through WIBW.com. Here's another one from Linda 4 minutes ago coming in 5 miles south of Onaga. You can see some really incredible cloud formations there. You know, I'm not a meteorologist, but clearly these are some different systems that we're following here as Jeremy's tracking this system as it goes across our region right now. I'm trying to see what other pictures we have here. That one was the one I just showed you there. And let me try to find some ones here. Well, let's see here. Oh, I can just scroll up. There we go. Okay, there we go. Here's one from, looks like Shenley came in east of Manhattan. Again, more interesting cloud formations there as well. Here is one from Wamego, from Earl. Just incredible images there from Wamego tonight. Again, you can see all these pictures on WIBW.com to go there and submit any pictures. Again, we're not telling you to go out there and take pictures in a spot where you can get a vantage point of some of the system that's coming in where you are. We would love to see that submitted through WIBW.com. Here's another one. We saw that one earlier. Looks like from Janet there. Near Onaga, and I guess my mic's cutting out a little bit. So Jeremy, why don't you take back over for a few minutes here?
Thank you, David. That helped. All right, so here's what we have right now out there. We have the tornado warning that includes Onaga and Havensville, and you know, this is almost the same area that had the tornado warning issued earlier. So it was going until 8:45. Now the National Weather Service has taken this to 9:15 for almost the same area. They've edged it a little farther to the east because it is moving to the east, but it's not moving quickly by any means. So folks around Onaga and Havensville, I know I had you taking shelter earlier. I want you to take shelter again, or stay in shelter, please, as this thing moves by. And the rotation has been persistent. We've seen it coming from near the Wheaton area right toward Onaga, and then heading over toward Havensville. But really, it's kind of crawling, and you're seeing kind of the same areas of spin over and over again. So while we're seeing that spin slowly making its way eastward, it's not moving all that quickly to the east. So we're still seeing those same areas with the risk of having this thing touch down. And so while we're saying Havensville, Onaga, same areas take shelter, it's because this thing is not making a lot of forward progress, and the rotation still is very persistent there. And we do encourage you to continue to take shelter. And if you're in other areas that aren't in tornado warnings, I know we're eating up a lot of WIBW CBS coverage tonight, and I understand that, but we do cover these tornado warnings any place in the WIBW viewing area for their entirety. So if it's the most populated area or if it's a very small area, we still cover it for folks and make sure that we keep you informed as best we can. So severe storm warning down here for the Council Grove area in Wilsey. You have possibility of winds, and it looks like it's going to be up to 60 miles per hour. That warning goes till 9:30, and then farther to the south, this part of the warning is for 70 mile per hour winds. It includes parts of Chase and Marion counties till 9:30 for the storm coming out of Marion County. It has a history of 80 mile per hour winds earlier when it was going through McPherson. The storm's up here going through Wamego shortly. This has possibility of winds to 60 miles per hour arriving in Wamego in just a few minutes. Louisville, St. George, seeing it right now. Bellevue as well. And then up the line, we have this one storm that's been persistently rotating on and off for the last few hours, really, and that could produce a tornado at any time. It did earlier. We've seen several reports of tornadoes from this, and several viewer pictures that look like they're probably tornadoes from this. Near Oldsburg, 70 miles northeast of Oldsburg was the one time it touched down earlier from a storm spotter. Several of your viewer pictures look like it may have touched down as well. Dave, do you have more pictures?
We're getting some more pictures just coming in. This one from Danielle. This was near Flush, and you can see obviously the storm there and a little bit of clearing there. Sent in a couple of ones here, so with some lightning as well in there as well. But we're getting several from the Onaga area, which is what you've been talking so much about. Here's another one of that. I'm going to say it's a shelf cloud. I don't know for sure. I'm not a meteorologist, but you can see we've obviously seen those kinds of formations many times here in our state. Some more impressive images there from Onaga. Again, if you've got pictures you want to submit, that's also Onaga. This is from Megan Smith. Really ominous looking clouds there tonight in the Onaga area. If you've got pictures you want to submit, just do that through the WIBW.com weather section. You can submit your pictures through there and we can take a look at them as well. Elizabeth sent this in from Manhattan earlier tonight. There's some interesting clouds by the Taco Bell sign there. Again, more from Onaga here. Eric sent this one in, more of that storm as it was developing there through that area. Angie and Onaga with some pictures as well coming in tonight. This was the, looks like maybe northwest of Westmoreland earlier tonight. So that could be obviously a tornado right there that Jeremy, you've been talking about as you've been covering this storm moving across our region.
Thank you, David. Yeah, confident that's either a tornado or a funnel cloud that's almost down. That's exactly what you're showing there from those viewer pictures. And we do thank people for taking those and submitting them through our website. If you submit things on Facebook or Twitter or any of that, we can't show those. We have to reach out to you and get a release, so you officially, we don't violate copyrights and that kind of stuff later on. But if you want to submit a picture to us that you have, the best way to do it is submit it to us through WIBW.com, through the WIBW weather app, the news app. You can do that as well. But that's how we need those pictures to come in so we can get them on quickly. We don't have to deal with getting a release signed and emailing back and forth and all that stuff. We can get it right away if you put it on our website. All that is instant. So right now the area is still in danger. Onaga to Havensville, that's the potential for a tornado still exists. Now I can tell you that first of all, you don't see a lot of tornadoes in August in the first place in Kansas. That's a really rare thing to see. We don't see a lot of tornadoes in Kansas in August. Second, now that we're past sunset, the chance of seeing tornadoes is even lower. That's another thing that makes the chance of seeing these kind of things come down. So rotation we saw earlier was hanging right there just west of Onaga. It seemed like it just wasn't going to move for a while, and we've seen that happen before, and now that area of rotation has since jumped into the south part of Nemaha County, and we're still seeing rotation kind of along that line. So most likely what's going to happen here, this tornado warning goes to 9:15. What I expect to happen here is this becomes more of a straight line wind damage event as it comes over into Jackson County, southern parts of Nemaha County. I'm not saying all clear on tornado yet. I'm not saying that, but I am telling you that from what I see from this pattern of suddenly the hook echo gets washed out and moves along, and now we're seeing this batch of storm becoming more like a bow echo here. We're more likely going to see this as a straight line wind threat, and it could even be higher end strong straight line winds with this. We're going to need to watch for areas near Emmett, Circleville, Holton. Watch for some really wild wind being a possibility as these. As we get past sunset, now it's not cool outside or comfortable or anything like that, but losing that heating from the day could be enough to make these storms start to dissipate. As a matter of fact, see an outflow boundary forming right there that's going to almost surely do what I'm telling you here. Zoom in on this, and I'm telling you that's what I'm seeing right here. That's an outflow boundary. I'm not thinking this, or maybe I know this. This is an outflow boundary right here. That is going to be strong straight line winds. That's going to shut down the tornado threat up here. I'm sure of it. So while you're in Onaga and Havensville, I'm telling you, you're in a tornado warning. Take shelter until we tell you the tornado warning is done. The other thing I'm telling you is this outflow boundary, that skinny green line that's outrunning the storms there, that will shut down the tornado threat. If you're in Westmoreland, your tornado threat now is 0. It's not going to happen. You're behind this outflow boundary, and it's impossible. Onaga over to Havensville, you're almost at the point where I can say exactly that. I still want you to take cover in these areas right now until this tornado warning is officially cleared, but this is going to become a straight line wind threat, almost no way around it, as the outflow boundary is taking shape now. Now that the sun has gone down, that's what this will become. So now we're connecting the warnings here. We have warnings almost from the Nebraska state line, almost to Highway 36. It's not quite that far north. Almost Highway 36, and then a discontinuous break here from near I-70 to just about Council Grove, and then the warnings stack up again, getting down into Marion County and even into Harvey County with warnings down there. So this is going to become more of a straight line wind event, which is what I expected it to be. That's what I really expect to see more of tonight. We can see isolated tornadoes, but quite a few of these wind damage events were what's more likely with this cold front that moves into this extremely hot and humid air mass. Again, what was the rotation near Onaga kind of pulled up to here. You can see it in southern parts of Nemaha County now, and what we have racing across here now, it looks like that's going to be strong straight line winds, almost surely near Onaga to Havensville at this point. So while I'm not saying all clear on tornado, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what I'm seeing on radar there looks more like it's going to be straight line wind in those areas, and I would not be surprised to see the tornado warning dropped early. That's a real possibility. All right, let's see the latest text on this. Weather Service says 8:37. Cape will produce a tornado near Havensville, moving east at 35. And let's see if they're mentioning straight line winds here. Okay, so they're still going to mention that Havensville is the area possibly to see a tornado. They have cut Onaga out of the tornado warning at this point. So we've been talking about Onaga for a long time. Onaga, you are no longer dealing with tornado warnings. That's over with for Onaga. I know you've been hearing about Onaga here with tornado warnings for a long time now, and that is no longer the case. Havensville is still being mentioned in the possibility of a tornado. The tornado warning continues for folks in Havensville, not quite to Circleville and not quite to Holton, but the shape of that is becoming more like an outflow boundary right there. You can draw this on. That shape right there is more of a wind damage event. So zoom it out again. I'll draw this other line on here for you, this skinny green line here that is almost to Emmett, this thing right there from Bellevue to Emmett. That is a wind damage event that's going out from that part of the storm, where you can see it, that skinny green line that launches out ahead of the other storms. That's going to be wind damage and outflow boundary. Now we have more development here. This is new. This is brand new stuff. Junction City. This is going back to 8:41, just 20 minutes ago, and come back forward to now. White City and Junction City. You have new storms developing in this area. These will probably become severe. They're very close to the cold front, still very hot and humid out ahead of that, and it's very likely we'll see more severe storm warnings issued right there along and ahead of that activity. I'm accepting more pictures for the website there, David. So if you refresh that, you'll see more stuff coming in. I'm refreshing probably another 30 or 50 pictures here. Yeah, let me accept more of these first and give it just 2 minutes to ingest it, and you'll have just a fresh crop of several dozen more pictures that have come in of this from those areas. So that should be in there. Just hit refresh on it and see if it shows up. All right, so again, the tornado warning continues right now for folks that are up here near the Havensville area. Onaga is out of the tornado warning. This is most likely going to become a wind damage event, though, with winds that could be as high as 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour in some spots. Circleville, you're going to have to watch out for very powerful winds coming out of this storm. Emmett, Delia, you need to watch out for very powerful winds coming out of this as well. Now, so far, we haven't had storms in Topeka, but this is very likely to form into a pretty solid line and impact areas like Topeka, Osage City, and Emporia later on in the evening. This is this cold front covers a lot of ground, and it is going to continue to form storms. There's an outflow boundary right there near Wilsey. This skinny green line, as I mentioned a few minutes ago with the other storm. This is the kind of thing that's likely very strong straight line winds that can form even before the heavy rain arrives, you can see the strong straight line winds moving in. So that's what you have right there, and you will see at this point that outflow boundary indicates a spot where the strong winds may be. David has some more pictures. Go ahead and check in with him at the monitor there.
We can just show our viewers, we've got a lot of different photos coming in from across the region. This is from Rachel Ebert looking north toward Westmoreland. You can see just the magnitude of that storm there as it was in that area. Of course, folks in Westmoreland are still kind of picking up the pieces and regrouping after that April 30th tornado that was back in the spring. So, you know, hopefully that things are getting back to normal there and they aren't going to be disrupted by this tonight. Here's from Rachel. This was driving west out of Home City headed toward Marysville earlier tonight. Here from Judy Smith, north of Westmoreland. Obviously, we're not sure what that is, but you can see some energy coming down from that storm right there. And Judy sent, looks like maybe another picture as well. Some more of the cloud formations there as well. And here in Wheaton, as the weather was rolling in from Destiny Graph, impressive pictures there tonight. We should mention, too, I was in the newsroom before I came in the studio. We were not hearing just yet of any kind of damage from these storms tonight, but obviously first responders are out surveying the area. We can hear them out there kind of checking things out and making sure there's no damage, but they are out there monitoring for what could or could not be damage across the region, so we'll keep our ear on that as well. Rebecca here, storm cloud and lightning west of Wamego earlier this evening. There's some impressive lightning that she caught there on that image tonight. Again, if you've got pictures, you can submit those through WIBW.com on our weather section. Jeremy can accept those. If you submit them there, it's a lot easier for us than having to send you emails for releases and all that kind of stuff. So just submit them through WIBW.com. Jeremy, do you have some more information you want to pass along?
Yeah, David, here's a picture as well. This is from Casson near Onaga just a minute ago, and that looks like very likely a tornado right there from this picture she submitted to WIBW.com. So again, thank you to people for sending those in. Don't take any risks. That's from several miles away. So just make sure you're taking precautions to be safe. You're getting pictures. Topeka has 88 degrees still right now, which is not a huge number, but the humidity is so high, it still feels like 101. Even after the sun has gone down, we still have 101 degrees for the heat index right now. While areas that have seen storms already, like Concordia, Marysville, it's much cooler with the wind coming in from the northwest. So the cold front has not quite reached Topeka yet. It has moved through Manhattan, where we still see a lot of lightning, and we may even see more storms in Manhattan. But now you're seeing this as a more well-formed line that extends from almost Holton through just about Council Grove and getting into the western part of Chase County. Actually, the western part of Chase County will be this shortly. And we're seeing a severe storm getting into Harvey County as well. So this is a more organized line that's moving in at this point. Now, we still could see more development of storms within this line. It's kind of broken at this point. There are some spots where it's discontinuous across the area. But just as I say, it's discontinuous. You will see more storms developing in areas where it's been dry, at least of recent. So around Junction City, getting close to the folks at Fort Riley at this point, you'll see storms developing right there, just kind of blossoming from nothing to storms, not severe yet, but probably will become severe as in the same environment as everything else is going on around here. And then looking a little farther to the south, we have folks in Council Grove. This storm is maturing as it gets closer to town. The winds could be 70 miles per hour getting into parts of Chase and Marion County with that. This storm getting into the western part of Wabaunsee County shortly. If you're in Alma, Alta Vista, Volland, you need to watch for this storm. It could produce very powerful winds as it matures as well. Even though the sun has gone down, we still will likely see more severe storms. I think the tornado risk is going to go away. As a matter of fact, the tornado warning just was canceled. They just dropped this. I was mentioning earlier that rotation had moved up into Nemaha County. It's right over there now. It was right here just west of Onaga, and then it got eaten up and ultimately started being ingested by the storm here in parts of Nemaha County and Brown County. Now, if the sun is down, that tornado risk is likely done. You know, I don't think I'd bet 50 cents on not seeing a tornado warning the rest of the night at this point, just because it's been hard to predict what would happen. But this tornado warning is now over with. So we do not have a tornado warning anymore for that area. It went till 9:15. They have canceled it early because they don't see the rotation in there anymore, which is great news. So that is over with. I'm going to check out what warnings we do have at this point. And they canceled that just in the last few moments here. And they do say they canceled it. The tornado warning threat is diminished. And large hail and damaging winds remain likely. Gusty winds still possible with this storm. Okay, of course. Okay, so that rotation with that is no longer showing up on the radar. And the activities near Onaga look like it's certainly the most dangerous. And now it's moved out. So I'll give you a recap of what's going on here. If we're still eating up 13.1, I want folks to be able to go back and watch WIBW 13.1. You got Bridge, you guys hear me on that? Bridge? Okay, I know, but I want to let people that are on 13.1 go back. We can continue with my TV since I've already eaten up the beginning of the 9 o'clock show. Let's continue there. We can't do that? What can I do? How can I let 13? Oh, we're covering. Okay, so I can live stream then, right? So we have okay, I got you. Okay, that's what we got. I got you. Okay, so we're still live streaming on WIBW.com and on YouTube, I'm sure. The tornado warnings are all gone at this point. So what we have is we have severe storms in place, and these have potential of producing winds that could be 60 miles per hour is what they're saying with this warning to the north. Let's make sure of that. 60. Brown, Jackson, Nemaha, that warning going until 9:30. That severe thunderstorm warning going until 9:30. Now, we could see winds higher than that at times, and we're going to continue the live stream to talk about that. Let's look down to the south here. These storms in Morris County and Chase, I think the one that's in Morris, that's only in Morris, is for 60 mile per hour winds right there. So Morris, 60 mile per hour winds, getting close to Wilsey and Council Grove. The activity farthest to the south that's in Chase, this is the one, has potential for 70 mile per hour winds, and that may impact Emporia in the next hour or so. Okay, so I want to let the folks go back to 13.1 and watch CBS programming there, and we will continue the live stream on WIBW.com and YouTube. Thanks for staying with us. We'll have reports on if there were any damage or tornado confirmed on 13 News at 10. And again, thanks for staying with us this evening for the severe weather coverage. We'll keep you safe and informed. Stay with us. So am I still live streaming?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes,
all right, thank you. Okay, so we'll continue the live stream here. And again, we're getting to a wind damage event situation at this point. Did he get his food?
The car is like basically right outside. It's on this thing.
Okay. Just making sure that somebody got his food at home. That's all. Okay, so just if you get any reports of damage around Onaga, that's there could be damage near Onaga. There could be damage near Havensville. There's almost surely damage near McPherson, which is not the coverage area, but it's interesting. It's at 80 mile per hour winds there in town. They probably have something broken.
Onaga, where else you said?
Onaga, Havensville, McPherson.
Let me go check. You okay on your own for a little bit?
I'm totally good. Thank you. Thank you for helping. Very much appreciated. All right. So what we have now, and here on the stream I can talk a little more about this, is we had this rotation showing up near Onaga, and it got kind of hung up there. You'll see it right here, hung, and then it moves away. So just before 9 o'clock is when they extended this tornado warning to go to 9:15, and it was sitting there. And then you can see the rotation kind of let go and then advance into Nemaha County, get eaten up by the line of storms. So if you're watching me and I was saying, it looks to me like the tornado threat's diminishing on this. It looks like it's more of a straight line wind event. That's what I was looking at. And I don't want to say, the Weather Service is seeing the same thing, but they're not going to cancel the warning right away. So I'm trying to say that without saying, all clear. I'm not going to say that. But that's what I was looking at and why I was trying to mention that the rotation look was moving away. So you can see it right there. It was hanging just west of Onaga for a few minutes, and then it took off right past Coring and Wetmore, and it wasn't taking off with a strong rotation with it. It's just kind of got embedded in the overall line of storms there, and it got eaten up, and the rotation really went away. And that happened, just after the sun went down. So the heating of the day was enough to keep that enough energy to continue to rotate and make that wild mothership cloud that people were sending in the pictures of. But then as the sun went down, it didn't have quite enough energy to stay tornadic, and you can see it now. It looks almost like if you poured a bucket of water on the ground and the way the shape it would have as it advances, that's what you have right here. It looks like a bucket of water being poured here, and then it just kind of spreads out. That's the downdraft, most likely, of that extremely strong, what was an updraft. And we check out the velocity. I'm going to see if the winds are getting wild in that area yet. They very well might be. And there we go. So now you're seeing these reds start to overtake what was green there. And I'm not sure how strong these winds are, but they're certainly more than 60 miles per hour, making the way in the northern part of Jackson County. All right, stay with me just a moment here. All right, so again, this is going to be a strong straight line wind event now. I don't expect to see any more tornado warnings tonight. I wouldn't bet 50 cents on it, unfortunately, but actually I would. I would bet 50 cents on it. But areas to the south, we had the higher end wind, which is still a concern, which areas around McPherson had winds reported 80 miles per hour, not just a warning for 80, but actually confirmed reports of 80 mile per hour winds around the town of McPherson. And these storms that are in the southern part of this line, there's a 60 for Marion County, and the Weather Service for Chase County over here, Chase and the southern part of Morris, they had 70 mentioned with this. That's probably for this outflow boundary right there. And then up into Morris County, closer to folks around Council Grove, the winds are 60 miles per hour in that warning. So still a severe storm, but it's not the high end. Let's see, yeah, Chase and Marion, that's the one that includes just a small sliver of Chase and Marion, sorry. Morris County storm up here is just for 60 mile per hour winds is what it is. So we have the 60 mile per hour winds that are being, with the warning that's in Morris County. So Council Grove, we'll see, you're going to see these winds of 60 miles per hour, at least close to it. And as I zoom out, you'll see these storms that were kind of taking a break in the middle here, filling in.
I just called Pottawatomie County, nothing in Havensville yet.
Good.
Nothing in Onaga, but obviously
Good. Good.
Right
Thank you. Thank you, David. All right, David's checking in with the folks around Onaga and Havensville to see if there's any sort of damage. And fortunately, we're not hearing anything yet. Sometimes when there is damage, the people that have had problems are too busy with the problem to let you know. I would not expect that. Step one is take care of what's happened. And then if you have a chance to let us know what's going on, then we pass it along. But we don't want somebody that's in an emergency situation or first responders. We want them dealing with a situation. Sometimes it's so fresh that you don't know for a few minutes if something's gone on, and that's the way it should be. You want them to take care of it first. So, looking at the line, again, this is filling in. So there's kind of a break in between areas of storms here. But now in the eastern part of Gary County, getting the western part of Wabaunsee County, this is filling in as these storms mature, and that's the cold front itself moving into this very hot, very humid air mass that's sweeping across this northeast Kansas. So the cold front's moving into this. The temperatures behind this tomorrow, don't expect to see a cold, refreshing day. We're looking at highs tomorrow still in the low 90s. The humidity is just going to be lower, but this cold front is what it officially is called, will not make for cold air by any means, just slightly cooler than it was today. The heat index won't be quite as rough. We still can see the heat index in the upper 90s, or maybe even touching 100 in a few spots, but it won't be as rough as it was today, fortunately. I'm going to upload some more of your pictures that have been submitted to WIBW.com from the storms this evening. And that's got to be rain. Okay, there's just some amazing pictures coming in here, guys. Just some of this stuff is just really stuff you'd expect to see in a meteorology textbook. There's so many pictures of this, what you call a mothership cloud is what the storm is called by storm chasers. And it's a supercell that just has the obvious striations on it. If the humidity is just right around the storm, and if it's rotating a particular way, then you get this kind of look like a like a spaceship. Is really what it looks like? Or at least what we imagine the spaceship to look like. I'm not saying we actually have spaceships, But from movies you've seen of spaceships, it's got that shape. All right, so I'm accepting a bunch of your pictures here and uploading them onto our website now. Just hundreds of these. Great pictures coming in from you guys, and video as well from tonight. And no reports of anybody injured, no reports of anybody with damage at this point. My guess is that folks around McPherson are going to have some damage because they had 80-mile-per-hour winds, and 80-mile-per-hour winds will certainly tear some things up. So we will see if we get reports of damage from there, but certainly if anybody has damage, that's the spot that I'd be the most concerned. Almost surely has something broken. All right, let's check out some of your viewer pictures coming in to WIBW.com. And there's a great picture that just came in a few moments ago. And, I can't tell if that's a tornado or not. I think the lighting on that makes it look like it is, but that's near Wilsey. A little while ago, Nick sending that picture in. WIBW.com. There's the mothership cloud. Now, right there, that's it. And it's got the striations from the strong rotation of this. Just amazing from Renee on Wheaton Road. That's from Nick. That could be a tornado or a funnel. Near Wilsey. Actually, that's near Wilsey. That's not a funnel cloud or tornado. That's a downburst or some hail. This is Westmoreland, Kansas. Jesse with a video there at the Oregon Trail RV Park. You can see the lightning there. Howdy. You're good. You're fine. This is from Renee on Wheaton Road. Again, that mothership, really a wild-looking cloud there. Don with this picture, some rotation near Manhattan. That's from St. George of the severe storm moving a little while ago from Windy. You can see the storm cloud just looks like almost in the ground there. It's not a tornado, but you can see the storm cloud just almost in the ground. More great pictures here coming in. That's from Kennedy near St. Mary's. That's on Flush Road, or at Flush. That's the northeast side of Manhattan from Jennifer. And some lightning near St. George. And just these mothership pictures are just so cool to see. That's from Manhattan looking toward Westmoreland. That's beaver tails, what that would be. There's that video from Westmoreland again. And that looks like it's either a funnel cloud or possibly a tornado near Onaga. Wow. Near Manhattan. He thinks that may have been the tornado trying to form right there, is what he says. There's that mother cloud look near Westmoreland again. Near Junction City, 8:31 p.m. A lightning near Wamego. Wow. And that's near Westmoreland. Just amazing clouds. And your pictures are amazing. And I'm so thankful that folks submit these to us. Thank you for sending those in. All right, so let's check out where the active warnings are right now. Again, Topeka is still 88 degrees. And the heat index is still 101. So if you're in Topeka watching us and wondering where's all the rain, what's all the commotion? Well, it's almost here. It's almost to Topeka. There's a live look from the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus. That's actually our newest weather camera that we have. And it's a very high quality camera. I can see a long way from this thing. But that's the view from it right now, looking to the east and to the severe storm and lightning that have just passed by Manhattan at this point. And there's the line of severe storm. So we have severe storm warnings in place from Nemaha County and Brown County all the way down to Wabaunsee County, and then it picks up again in Morris County and then again in Marion County down to Harvey County. So some of these storms are all dealing with strong winds. And that's going to be the primary threat for storms the rest of tonight. I do not expect to see any more tornado warnings. That is extremely unlikely at this point. I do expect to see more warnings for wind and potential wind damage. And I want to check out the camera here from Menninger Hill on the northwest side of Topeka and see what it looks like now so far. And that's the view looking kind of to the south-southwest. I'm going to turn this camera around, look more straight west as the storm's getting closer to the capital city. So just a constant lightning display. If you're in the capital city and you look to the west, you will see that lightning display that's out there. This is near Maple Hill, the WIBW transmitter site. Our transmission tower is well over 1,000 feet tall. The camera's about 200 feet up the tower, so it's not all the way at the top, but just that's kind of south of Maple Hills where it's located. I'm going to turn this camera as well. And while I'm streaming here, I'm also kind of getting ready for the 10 o'clock newscast. So new warnings filling in now. Now the line is continuous. Now it goes all the way through Wabaunsee County into the northern part of Lyon County. So I'm going to look at that, and I'm curious if they're looking at the outflow boundary that's almost to Lyon County, or if they're actually talking about the storm with heavy precipitation closer to Council Grove. And I'm setting up this camera in our WIBW transmission tower camera as well here, which looks like it's not actually updating on the site for some reason. That's not great. Okay, there's the camera from 70th and Davis Road looking at the lightning getting closer to Topeka. And how about Wamego? It's probably just pouring there. There's Toto, lots of Toto around Wamego. And they have the severe storm warning in place there. So near Holton, this is the Banner Creek Science Center. Looks like I can see the dark there. The camera might be offline. Try it one more time. Okay, so it's not coming in. All right, so getting down to the south, let's check out Council Grove. Here comes the severe storm warning with the severe storm getting close to Council Grove. Winds of 60 miles per hour possible there with this. And again, the line is now taking shape. This is what was the easier call for this to see these storms very likely forming a nice, neat, linear line of storms coming in. So there's the view from Meninger Hill looking to the west from Topeka at a lot of lightning. And then to the south, I want to check out the view from Emporia. Emporia, of course, having that wild flooding earlier this week, and the Lyon County Fair still going on. So the warning, I don't think, goes to Emporia at this point, but they will have to deal with strong winds there at the Lyon County Fair shortly. And the latest warning here for Gary, Riley, Morris, Wabaunsee, and Northwest Lyon for 60 mile per hour winds. And I don't even see the mention of hail there. If there's hail in these, they're not going to be extremely large. But again, the view there from Emporia, you can see the Lyon County Fair still ongoing. There's beautiful colors there. And then to the north, you see the colors of the severe storms that are getting closer to Emporia as well. Just almost constant lightning with this, which is not uncommon in summer thunderstorms. You tend to see a lot of lightning with these, of course. All right, so the line of storms is taking shape better, and now it gets into Shawnee County as well. So this warning for Shawnee County 2 now, and we're going to see what the text on this says. Brown, Jefferson, Jackson, Nemaha, Shawnee, Wabaunsee, and they're going to say 60 mile per hour winds probably. Yes, 60 mile per hour winds with this, and the warning going until 10 p.m. So we have a severe storm warning now that includes Shawnee County, not including Topeka. It stays north of Highway 24 at this point, but most likely we'll see that advancing in the capital city as well. All right, I have not seen any high-end wind mentions from these severe storms lately, other than the 80 mile per hour winds in McPherson earlier, and the 70 mile per hour warning in Chase County Those are the only ones I saw that were higher end wind threats. Now I do see something here that I don't like near Alta Vista. Let's see how strong the winds are in this. This is close to 70 miles per hour in that part of this severe storm. And that particular area with the strong winds is also moving particularly fast. Now that said, as it gets closer to the Doppler radar, sometimes you're looking at different levels in the storm. So sometimes it can overplay something, but that would not surprise me at all if the winds were that strong in this line getting into the western part of Pottawatomie County. So I really think we're going to have some strong wind events coming up in the next hour or two here with this. All right, so there's a warning in Morris County that just got canceled. That's an old one. And again, I expect to see severe storm winds all along this line. So near Whiting, you're getting winds that are probably 60 or 70 miles per hour right now. Holton, you're going to see the strong winds moving in within the next 15 minutes or so. Mayetta, around the Prairie Band Casino, you're going to see winds of 60 or 70 miles per hour, probably within the next 30 minutes. Hoyt, same thing. Topeka, we're watching the stuff that's coming across the western part of Wabaunsee County, probably arriving in Topeka around 10, maybe 10:30. Let me time out the motion on this line of storms and see how fast the forward motion is on this. And it kind of formed here, so we're still probably moving 30 miles per hour. So taking the 30 miles into the future, that would be to the end of 10 o'clock. Yeah, we're going to look at this moving in probably during the weather segment on the 10 o'clock news, probably. So we'll have an interesting 10 o'clock newscast to have weather cameras to show you. All right, so again, we have a line of severe storms. None of these are tornadic at this point, but the wind damage on this is going to become the higher threat. All right, Bridge, can you hear me? Let's drop the live stream here. Get ready for the 10 o'clock show. Thank you.